Joey and friends here to save the day. Talking about dolls and making our own way. Talking to visionaries, dreamers, and kin. Anyone can play here cause we all fit in. From Darcy to Body, from Dawn to Glimmer. We talk about world as the lights go dimmer. Follow us to a playground filled with stories. And let us entertain you with tales of our glories.
Hi everybody, I'm Joey Dollmaker Versaw, and I am here with Cyrus of Cyguy Dolls. Hi Cyrus,
Hi, Joey.
how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really impressed by all of this good stuff I see behind you.
Look at
That's
all this junk.
amazing. So such a cool playroom. I just want to go and start investigating.
Yeah, come over anytime and play.
I would love to. So let's dive into it. What was your first experience with dolls like as a child?
Um, so I guess my first doll experience would be, I think I was really young, like probably like 4 years old, and my mom had gotten me this Cabbage Patch Kid, right? And I used to call him Cabby. And I used to like carry him everywhere. Like you saw, like every time you saw a picture of me, I was carrying Cabby. And he got so beat up and he had like ink stains on his face and lost all of his clothes. It wasn't even like the like regular Cabbage Patch Kid. He had no hair. He was like the baby. He was like a
Yeah.
baby Patch Kid, and I thought he was so cool. I guess that's my technically my first doll. I've never had a Cabbage Patch Kid since.
Do you know what's so funny about that is this morning I was running around and I have a I have a couple Cabbage Patch Kids, but I have a Cabbage Patch Kid that is named Cyrus Lee. And I was gonna grab Cyrus Lee, and guess what? Cyrus Lee is bald. He has no hair. So that's so
What?
fun. Yes, so that's so funny because I was gonna be ridiculous and have him on my lap and be like, "It's Cyrus Lee." It's like,
You
yeah.
know, in some multiverse, like my cabbie like hopped through time and then like was like, I'm gonna manifest myself into Joey's life.
Yes, he wanted me to be daddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But that's
It's like
hilarious. I love that. So,
he's a
but
daddy hopper, that
right.
cabbie.
So Cabby was your first like kind of experience with the doll. And
Yeah.
then where did it progress from there?
Oh geez. How did that go? So I guess it went from that to both of my sisters were Barbie obsessed and had a huge collection of Barbie dolls, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And they also made their own clothes for them. They used to go to the Walmart sewing section when Walmart used to have a sewing section
Right.
with the pattern books, and they used to have like the Barbie patterns, and they would go there every week and be like, "Oh, they have a new pattern," and my sister would buy the patterns and she would make them and she'd sew everything by hand,
Wow.
and I just thought it was so cool, and I loved Barbie so much, and I want to be a part of that world,
Hmm.
but like my parents sort of shied me away from it. But I was so intrigued, and I wanted to. They would go outside and play with dolls. I'd be like, I want to go, I want to go, I want to play too. And they were like, no, you can't play with dolls with us. And then I guess eventually, I wore my mom down because my mom was sort of a big hippie,
Hmm.
and like like she was she could be worn down, because
Yeah.
she didn't like social norms, right? And she didn't like people saying a boy has to be this way, a girl has to be this way. And so like I'd be like, I want to play with dolls. And she's like, okay, you do whatever you want, right? And I'd be like, yes. And so finally I got my mom to buy me my first Barbie doll. And I'm trying to remember what one that was.
I
It
was just
was
gonna ask what one that was.
jeez. I think it was a Ken, right?
Okay.
because like I don't know, I guess getting a male doll was more socially acceptable,
Yeah, that's what
whatever.
I had. I had Western Ken because I'm old, but that's what I got my
Yeah.
mom to buy me for Christmas.
You ease your way. It's so weird. You ease your way into it. You're like, oh, I don't want any of the girl dolls, but like, I just want to have a Ken so I can play with my sisters, you know.
Right, right.
And so I wanted a Ken so bad. And I remember there was like this one Christmas that I was supposed to get um, a Ken doll, or I asked my mom, and I was expecting a Ken doll, and I didn't get it, and I was so devastated. And then like my dad ended up like 12th hour, he went to the store and came home with, I think it was like Cool Tops Ken. Do you remember he
Oh
had
yeah.
like the piece of pizza on his
Yes, yes.
shirt and the
Cool
suspenders? And I was
times.
like,
Cool
yeah,
times.
and I,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And anyway, so I was like, I can. And it was like, I don't know. It was great.
That's so cool. I loved that Cool Times line. I was probably, I don't know, I was probably like 11 or something. Yeah, probably about 11 when those came out. But I loved that line. I think I have all of the fashions. A lot of my 90s stuff I kept the mint fashions and got rid of the dolls because I didn't need excess of dolls or whatnot. So I have all the cool times fashions, but I do have one actual doll of that, which is the Teresa, just because she had that the Hispanic face mold
Uh,
with the odd nose, you know,
yeah,
and
that was
I
rare.
yeah, it was so weird because I had like a love-hate relationship with that face sculpt. When I was a kid, I didn't really like it very much. And then as I got older, it started growing on me, and I was like, oh, I do like that face sculpt. But specific Teresa is so ridiculous. I think she has this like garish blue eyeshadow and like, I'm like, yeah, gotta have that doll.
I mean, yeah, they were all a little bit out there in that line. Like, I know my oldest sister, Claire, she used to be obsessed with all the redheaded dolls, and so she had to get every midge, and I think she had the midge from that line.
Yeah. And that
But
was such a good midge. I loved her. She had that very odd top that was kind of like a kernel top or something, the one with the like shoulder things with the, you know,
yeah, like a
yeah.
soldier type of thing, type
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
she was obsessed with like all midges, everything red hair, and like she had all of them. She had the wedding midge and the Barbie and the Rockers midges,
and probably
uh
like Kayla.
all the
Yeah,
Kaylas, yeah.
yeah. That's so cool. So your dad brought you home the Ken, and
Yeah.
that would have been like your first Barbie doll, technically. Like,
Technically Barbie, yeah. Like as
yeah.
far as like a female Barbie, I want to say the next was I got like Hawaiian something. She was a beach doll, but she was
Is
like
the one with the really long, long hair with like pink and orange in it? Hula hair?
no,
No.
I it was Hawaiian something, and I think they had the perfume cases in them. Do you remember like
Oh
it
yeah,
was like
Hawaiian Fun. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
And
like the
that
little
was
like the perfume, but it was like almost chapsticky and you would rub your
mhm,
finger in it and put it on. Yeah.
yeah. And if you were a little kid like me, you're like, I want to eat it too.
Right, right. That's
And so
actually one of my favorite lines, even though it's such a simple line. They have jazzies in that line as well. But they all have uh like a weird Z or like zigzag in their eyes, you know?
mhm,
Yeah. And I think that's so interesting. One thing that I feel like Mattel's really lost is the character in each one of their lines, even if it's like Barbie every single time in the, 80s and 90s and before that, we can look at a doll and know exactly who she is, what she, that's astronaut Barbie, that's, whoever. And now it's like there's no way they're all just blonde Millie. Who knows who
Yeah.
she was,
This
unless
Millie
she
looks
was a gimmick
exactly like the
doll,
last 10 Millies,
right?
and like we can't distinguish them. But yeah, in the olden days, like every Barbie had her own style to her, right? And she
Yeah,
had her own look, she had her own hair that was drastically different than the last one. And so it gave her
exactly.
so much more personality.
Well, yeah, and like
And
you could be able to tell like when they're naked, I can go and be like, "Oh, that's from the, what we were just talking about, tropical fun or whatever.
Hawaiian,
Hawaiian
yeah,
fun,
yeah,
right? I can be like, that's a
yeah.
Hawaiian fun because look at the Z in their eye, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they're very distinct, and you knew each one. I remember my sister was like a completist, so she'd be like, "I have to get everyone from this beach line," and like we would do nothing but like surf through thrift stores constantly because my mom was a big pack rat
yeah.
and collected a lot of glassware and stuff. So we were always in a thrift store, and that's how my sister got the majority of her dolls. Um, and that's how she collected a lot of other doll lines too, because thrift stores are
Yeah, you
gold mine.
find something and you're like, this is cool. Yeah,
What is this? And then you do research on it. You're like, oh my god,
right. Oh, I
this
have
was
this rare. It's
Darcy.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So what got you started in your interest in actually like making dolls yourself or
Mm.
customizing dolls?
So growing up, I was really into dolls and action figures because I had my oldest sister was super into dolls. My middle sister was more of a tomboy and she was super into action figures. And I kind of like the best of both worlds. Like I like them both. But my middle
The
sister used to
best
collect.
of both worlds.
Yeah, it was a Hannah Montana type
Yeah.
situation,
Okay, Miley, I see you.
right? But so yeah, so my middle sister would always look for like the rare female figure from every action figure line. And I always thought that was cool too, because they were rare and like they were usually short packaged. And so we'd always search um for those. And initially, um me and my middle sister, we would make dioramas for the action figures we would get from like Star Trek The Next Generation and X-Men and all that type of stuff. And I would customize the action figure faces because I'd be like, oh, she's not pretty enough. Like
Right. She
I
needs a
need
cat
to,
eye.
right. And I didn't even have a paintbrush either. Like I would use the head of a pin, right?
Yes.
And I would just like do it like that. And so that's kind of how I started with that. And then I guess you could fast forward to when I was in my early 20s. And it was a whole situation because I was a supervisor of a Toys R Us near New Orleans, where I grew up. And I was in a long relationship that I wanted to end and was just like on its last leg. I was ready to end that relationship and I was really not happy at my job. Like I was doing good at it, but I was not satisfied with it.
Right.
And my parents decided to move from that area to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And my mom's older than I guess most moms. She gave birth to me when she was 40. And so she was like, this house needs like some renovations. Like, I wish you could move down here and help us with it. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh my God, this is my chance to get out of here, to
Yes.
get away from that relationship, get away from that job, and just
Yeah.
start over. And so I did. And I did that. started helping them renovate their house because I know like a good number of like carpentry stuff too because my dad built our first house back in Louisiana, and so I helped her with that. Got another job down there in Mississippi, and then I forgot what it was. My mom was asking me. She was like, I have all this glassware and I just have too much of it. She was like, "Is there any way like you can show me how to like sell it on eBay?" And I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, totally. Because like, she's older, she didn't really know the internet very well. And this is back in like, I don't know, 2007 or something.
Right.
And so I had been in my free time when I wasn't working, taking a bunch of the dolls because my sisters had moved out, gotten married, the whole thing, taking some of the dolls from their collections and my collection and repainting them. And like just for fun. And um, so I had done this one Audrey Hepburn as Sabrina. And well, she wasn't as Sabrina, but I customized her as Sabrina from the
Yeah.
movie Sabrina
Yeah.
because I just thought it was
Was it
cool.
the Mattel
And
Breakfast at Tiffany's doll?
mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It was such a beautiful doll, such a beautiful sculpt, and even the like they made extra outfits for her. Like it was
right.
beautiful.
The
Yeah.
Timeless Treasures was an era in time that is unparalleled.
That cat mask, I had to have that cat
Ah,
mask. Like that
right?
was incredible. Yeah.
The whole thing was amazing, and, like, they did such a great sculpt with her,
Mhm.
with, what's
Oh,
her
their
Diana
celebrity sculpts.
Ross.
Yeah, their celebrity sculpts back in the like 90s into the early 2000s were so gorgeous. They were really well done.
Insane, so
Yeah.
good, and so anyway, so I was like, "Okay, let me, customize this," and so I had, like, sewed her, like, her Givenchy gown, and I knew how to sew because I just watched my sisters. My
Yeah.
sisters would have all these patterns, and I memorized the shapes of the patterns for a dress, for pants, for a shirt,
Yeah.
and so I would just eyeball it and cut out the patterns,
Yeah.
like that, and
That's
then
Oh, I was just gonna say that's so funny because I have the same experience. That's, I mean, I taught myself. I didn't have sisters that were making patterns. I taught myself, but I eyeball everything. Like even to this day, I still eyeball, and most of the time, it turns out perfect the first time.
right, right. And sometimes you have to do it again, because
Right, right. A
you
little bit
never know.
off here, a little bit off here. Yeah,
Right, cut it down here.
yeah.
But yeah, so I made her that Givenchy gown that she wore in Sabrina with the big long train and everything. And I just thought it was cool. And I
Yeah.
was like, and my mom said, "How do I sell something on eBay?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll show you." And I was like, "What do I sell? What do I put?" I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe somebody will want this doll that I did." And so like I put it on eBay as an auction. And I think I probably started the bidding at like $1 or $5 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, "This is how you do it." And my mom never ended up putting anything on eBay, by the
Right,
way.
right.
She didn't take my advice. She just like totally ignored me. But anyway, so I was like, I'm trying to walk her through this. Is how you use the internet. And so to my surprise, that doll, the price kept going up on her. People kept bidding on her and bidding on her. I was just like, oh, this is cool. Like she's up to like $200 now. That's really cool. Like, wow. And then, like, I want to say the auction ended with it being like between like six and $800,
Holy
something like that.
moly.
And I was like,
Wow.
wait, what? Wait, what? I was like,
Yeah.
this is a thing like people do. And so, I had a feeling of pride. I was like, I have talent.
Yeah.
Like I can do
I'm
a thing.
talented.
I can do a thing people like that,
Yeah.
outside of punching a time clock.
Right.
Uh, and so I I was like, okay, let me do another one. And then I got a good price for the next one, and then I got a good price for the next one. And I have a pretty extensive love of pop culture.
Yeah.
And so like I would just get excited about these projects, like Molly Ringwald from Pretty in Pink
I
and
remember that, Cyrus. I remember the
mhm,
Molly.
remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
And it's really much fun doing that. And I would watch the movies when I made them too.
yeah.
And it would just like get me in the spirit. I was like,
Into
oh
the
yeah.
mode. Yeah.
I remember like when I was making that Molly Ringwald too, I had some sort of like dental surgery the day before, and I was so high on like painkillers watching Pretty in Pink, making her, and I was like, ah, this is bliss.
I
And so
love it.
yeah, I listed her on there and she got a good price. And it was just like every time I did something, it hit. Like it connected with people and it was just became really exciting and fun. And to preface this, I will say my mother was an art teacher and a sculptor. And so she taught me growing up the importance of creativity and art.
Yeah,
And in a pretty extreme way, like she insisted that I did it, and both of my sisters as well. And we all rebelled. Like
yeah. We're not
when
going
you're
to
a
be
little,
artists.
yeah, like, no, mom, no way. When you're a little kid, like 5 years old or something, you think it's really cool, right? You don't really have that rebellious spirit in you. And you're like, oh, yeah, you just do what your mom says. And you're like, this is fun. I love finger painting. I love,
Right,
playing with clay and all that. And then as you become 12, 13, 14, you become a little asshole. And you're like, fuck you, mom.
right. Just let me
I'm
listen
not
to
going to
Hannah
be like
Montana
you.
in peace. I don't want to hear you.
Right. No. Like I'm gonna do what all the other kids are doing, and
Right.
and so I rebel, and I tried to rebel for a long time, and on top of that, compounded by that, like my mom was very hippie, so was my dad, very against the grain, and they homeschooled me and my sisters our entire life until we graduated from high school,
Yeah,
or I guess GED. We
right,
graduated from GED.
right.
Um, But so like that was another thing where I was just like, I want to rebel against you. I want to be a part of this world. I want to fit in, blah, 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 blah. And I think as you get older, for me, as I get older, you learn more and more like that the version of you when you were at your most pure, like you're as a child, is
Yeah,
your most authentic,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so for me, like and you live in the world and you get disappointed by so many things and you sort of come back to who you used to be and you were like, you know what, creativity actually is really cool.
Yeah,
And like, expression of who you are and like all that stuff that my mom said that I rebelled against were really valuable lessons, for me. Um, and um, so yeah, and so I
and you probably realize too how lucky you were to have such a attentive, parent that was trying to, show you the beauty of creating and, a lot of kids, even just like homeschooling, and being a hippie and whatnot. That's it's so good because I understand, like, obviously kids need to be able to be out in the world and to intermingle and whatnot, but to have something really stable and someone who's really putting the time in and teaching you and stuff, whereas a teacher in a classroom has, like, 30 kids to keep in order or to, like, see what their progress is. Mom is like, I'm right here. I'm watching you. I'm, you know.
I started to smile because you actually sounded just like my mom when you were saying that. Because like she's said that stuff so many times to me. She's because we would say to her like, "We want to go to school," and she'd be like, "Oh, really? You want to be in a classroom and not get hurt at all?"
Right, right.
I'd be like, I don't know what that experience would be like, but
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah. So I tried to rebel for a long time. I failed at it, and like even at my job, like this is the thing, creativity was such an integral part of me at my jobs, I would draw caricatures of my workmates, and they'd be like, "This is so good," and they're
Yeah.
like, "Would you do me? Would you do me?" I'm like, "Yeah." And like when I had downtime, I just like draw caricatures of them, and so like it was oozing out of me, and I kept trying to fight it. And then, yeah, and then I started making the dolls, and I really enjoyed it. It was very fulfilling. It tapped into my love for pop culture,
Yeah.
and
And
just
dolls
like
and figures and
and dolls and figures and
yeah.
celebrities and female empowerment, which I'm a big feminist, and like I was always about that, always rooting for the girl in the story, always rooting for like the last girl in the horror
Me
movies.
too. Me too. Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God, that's who I identify with.
Right?
And so, and like,
There's a
oh,
meme that's floating around that has like it's like four pictures put together and it's like Midsummer and Carrie and it's like four horror girls or whatever and like Pearl and it's like this is what I identify as or with or whatever and I'm like yes 100%.
mhm, that is me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am Laurie Strode.
Right. I think that
Um,
too, one of the things we were talking earlier about Flickr and how like, that's a platform that a lot of myself and different friends and stuff got to share their doll art and meet each other and like keep tabs on each other, which like now, it's a lot of it's Facebook or Instagram.
right.
But Flickr seemed like such a cool platform at the time. And I
Totally.
remember, following you and following your work and like seeing how things progressed. And I loved your creativity on, oh, he's using, the Jack's Pacific bodies. Oh, he's using Tonner's Revlon bodies.
Mhm.
Oh, and I was just like, this is so cool. Like you were like, trying to find what you felt really fit to look more realistic and to get what you needed across for the celebrity that you were doing. And I
Yeah.
was like, this guy is fucking mad talented. I mean, just amazing.
Thank you. That's very, very sweet for you to say that. Yeah, I tried to adapt, see what would fit with what body. Like the Jack specific went great with Mego sized heads, right? And I had done like some modern Mego versions, right? Where I remade the Mego heads of Cher and Farah and some of the other Jacqueline Smith in realistic skin tones. Because you remember the Mego skin tones, it's like
Oh, yeah.
terracotta.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them were a little green sometimes, like, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so like I would remake them, and the Jack specific body was like the perfect transition, right? To remake that. And then God help me, I would not be where I am today without the Tana Revlon body. Because it was my go-to when I started making the Madonna dolls.
And oh my gosh, how sad though that was so short-lived because there was only there's only so many made and like, and
Mhm.
then I'm sure the prices started going up and you're just trying to get
Yeah.
a body and you're like, well, I don't want to pay $100+ for a body,
Right. I was like a certified Indiana Jones treasure hunter type for the Tonner bodies. Like
Yeah.
I was constantly on the prowl looking for a good price on it, and they were rare because they weren't made very much.
Yeah.
Uh, they made them for
The
Tonner
DC
Revlon,
stuff,
the
like a
DC
few
stuff.
characters, yeah.
Yeah, and then they just stopped making it, so it just became harder and harder to get them. But I needed them for the Madonna because they were the right size. But yeah, I would not be where I am today without the Tana Revlon body. Thank you,
Thank
Robert
you,
Connor.
Tonner. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Robert.
I
Thank
won't tell you
you.
what we did with the heads, but thank you for the bodies.
I would like sell them in lot on eBay,
Right,
honestly, just
right.
to make a bunch of money.
Another artist put them to use. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I would get messages from people too. Where are all the bodies? I'm like, I don't have them.
Right, right.
Get lost.
That's so
Right now.
funny. So, like, what was your, so kind of at the start was with Sabrina. And then
Yeah.
so Madonna, I feel like watching as an audience or watching you, I feel like it was the Madonna doll that really like put you on the map
Yeah.
and got all of the attention.
Yeah, I mean, so the popularity of the Madonnas was surprising to me and really was a game changer for me.
Yeah,
And so I would make the Madonnas, and I made the first one, like the Lucky Star one,
yeah,
and like, okay, and I remade it, remade the uh, what is it called? Applause, the Applause, Madonna, Breathless Mahoney,
yeah.
right? That likeness. So I remade it and sculpted the rest of the head, right? And used that likeness and did some tweaks to the likeness too to make it right. And then made it for the Tana Revlon body. And at first I was just like, I love Madonna, and I do love Madonna. Like I've always been a hardcore Madonna fan. Like
Yeah.
really, even before I started customizing like the Sabrina, like I want to say like a few years prior, I had made a Madonna Confessions on the Dance Floor doll, just using the head from the Breathless Mahoney with the real hair. You know the one with what is it?
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one with the molded blue dress and
Uh-huh.
the microphone. Anyway, so I had made that years before, but then I had like found the better sculpt, right? Which was the applause one. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna remake this head. I'm gonna like fix the likeness a little bit where it's off. And so just like then I started selling her. And yeah, that was a game changer for me. The prices on those on eBay when I put them on auction would go crazy. They would
Oh
go to
yeah.
like 12, 1,500, sometimes
I
2,000 a
remember.
doll.
Yeah.
And this was back in like 2008,
Yeah.
2009 too. And so I was like, wow, that's
Gosh,
not
was it
that
really
long.
that long ago?
Yeah.
I feel so
Mm,
old.
we are all.
I'm like, that was yesterday. What are you talking about,
I
Blair?
know. It's so crazy because I remember when I was younger, my mom used to talk about the 70s and this was like in the early 90s. I'd be like, oh my God, that was 1,000 years ago. Now I think back to like 2001 and like, I'm the same. I'm the
Right,
same as my
right.
mom. Like that seems so recent,
I
but
still
like it
want my
was 1,000 years
low-rise
ago.
bootcut jeans. I don't care what you say.
Right. I'm still gonna wear the thong with these low rises, mom. Sorry.
Right, right.
But yeah, so it really took my breath away, like the popularity of the Madonna.
Yeah.
And with Madonna, there's so many looks. It's never ending.
So many looks.
I
Yeah.
could do Madonna for eternity. And
Yes.
I learned so much more about Madonna. I was a huge Madonna fan before,
Mhm.
and then like watched tons of interviews, watched tons of her movies, did so much research, would email people who worked on her videos to be like, I can't see the rest of this outfit. Could you please
Right.
describe to me what it looked like? And
What it
sometimes they
look.
would. Sometimes they would email back and be like, okay, so she was
Wow.
actually wearing like these black boots and stuff. I was like, awesome. Thank you.
That's so amazing. How cool is that? I was a huge Madonna fan growing up. Like we're talking huge. Like I had when Truth or Dare came out, I had my mom drive me to the the Blockbuster or wherever it was and like begged them for that poster and got my name on a list for me to get that poster and I got that poster and then the manager ended up giving me like a cardboard cutout standee for Truth or Dare, and I had Madonna posters all over my bedroom wall. I was
Oh my
always
God, that's
defending
awesome.
her because people thought she was the devil.
Right,
I
right.
remember even like I mean even as a kid before Truth or Dare, I was Like a Prayer was like my favorite album, and I was going to school with my Walkman listening to Like a Prayer, and it
It's so interesting. I remember when I was younger, and people, maybe younger people, don't remember, or not don't remember, but like didn't experience this. But back in the 90s, 2000s, 80s, right? Madonna was everywhere. Madonna was always on the news. Her videos were always number one on MTV. She was always doing really thought-provoking interviews, right?
Yeah.
She was always making us um, question social norms, right? And question why we're so um, why people were so conservative about their sexuality and expression of sexuality. And you'd hear these interviews, and like just she was always on some sort of newscast, Nightline, Entertainment Tonight, something like that. And as a young person growing up, being exposed to that, it plants these little seeds, especially if you're a little gay boy like I was, saying like,
You're gay,
"This is the
Cyrus? I had no
okay."
clue.
So wait, listen.
Oh, no, no clue. Oh my God. Are you
Do we need
coming
to end
out
the
on the
interview?
channel? Are we gonna know?
You guys, listen. I know it seemed like I was super butch. Um,
Right.
But like, yeah, so like it would plant seeds in my mind, because my mom was a hippie, but she was also a very strict Catholic. And so for me, hearing that stuff, right, it was almost like a life raft that was there. Here is the most successful, powerful woman in the world who says fuck you to convention, to what everybody's doing. And it makes you realize as you grow. For me, it made me realize as I grew up, like, you can be successful and not fit in,
Right.
right? Be outspoken and express your genuine expression of sexuality, whatever that may be, gay, bi, trans, straight, whatever, and just be you and be incredibly successful, right? And so that was a powerful message for me, to really just hear that and
Yeah.
let it develop in me. And so, like, as you get older, as I got older, I just really gravitated to her, and like in many ways, for me, like, I'm sure you can see, I literally have Madonna up here on my wall
Yes. I
crossed.
love it. I love
Um,
it.
and for me, that was important to do because it was sort of a commentary on religion and what we worship, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, when the Like a Prayer video came out, and I remember I was really young. I think I was maybe like 8 or something like that when that album dropped. And I remember people freaking out, literally freaking out that she had a depiction of Jesus as a black man. And I remember thinking like, what's wrong? What's wrong with that? What's
Right,
going on? Like, why are
right,
people so upset?
right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and that was, and there's another thing where she's challenging convention. Like, we're actually having these thought-provoking conversations that she was the catalyst for,
Yeah.
right? And so, like, as someone who, when you go out into the world and come out and have to survive as a queer person, those lessons are valuable.
Hmm.
That message is valuable, to be like, believe in yourself, stand your ground, ask questions.
Right.
Why is it scandalous to be in a interracial relationship?
Yeah.
Why is it scandalous to question religion,
Hmm.
or question sexuality, or question why it's dirty to enjoy sex?
Right. Right.
Right? And so, like, for me, making that, it was a commentary um on what we worship, in a way, because I realized that there was religion put into my life that I was expected to follow and be a part of. um and then there was where I spent my time listening and learning, right? Which a lot of people do from their religion, and a lot of that was Madonna. And
Yeah.
I don't think Madonna's a deity or a god or anything like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
I'm just in a strange parallel. It's like, this is where I'm putting my admiration, and this is my, I guess, John the Baptist
Yeah. Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And like, this was like a commentary of like, this is someone who guided me to believe in myself,
Yeah.
where, where in the Catholic faith, for me, I didn't get that as a queer person. I feel like a lot of people didn't get that as well.
Yeah.
As well, they
Yeah.
felt in swayed in the other direction.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think I'm remembering a lot talking to you about my childhood because it was because I was such a Madonna fan. I mean, I literally had scrapbooks, Madonna scrapbooks that were like magazine covers, clip out articles, like, I saved everything. And I remember that when Truth or Dare had come out, I was so fascinated because of all of her queer dancers, that were in the documentary and that she was working with and friends. And it was a very like, it was kind of like, in a weird way, it was showing some kind of like queer life and also camaraderie. And I
yeah.
remember as a young kid thinking like, wow, like this is so cool. It's like normal and they're famous and like,
Mhm.
like
Well, yeah, and that's not something that was depicted, right, on TV or film before. And
exactly,
especially a
exactly.
real life representation. And for a lot of people, when they saw that, that gave them hope, right?
Yeah,
That you can have that. That is a real thing that exists in this world. And
yeah,
especially if you grew up in a very religious house, in a religious home, a lot of people, myself included, felt there's no hope for me.
yeah,
There's no avenue for me, right? Like, where do I go? And it's terrifying,
yeah,
growing up queer and having those feelings. And so like that imagery, right? Like those type of things really help so many gay,
hmm,
queer, trans people like to say, there's a place for me in this
yeah,
world.
yeah.
If you're brave, if you are strong, if you can tough it out, because it's gonna be hell for a while, but yeah, very important imagery.
And then Sex came out, the Sex book, and I remember of course wanted it so bad, and it was so elusive. It was a big deal. It was $50. It was
Yep.
like,
It was covered in like black at the bookstore.
right. And I mean it came in a package. It was in a sleeved package, like foil type package that and so you couldn't even like crack that book open, it's like
Yeah.
it was very
Hmm.
like taboo and everyone was talking about it. And I remember when I got it, and when I did finally get it, I get a call from my uncle who knows that I'm a huge fan, and stuff. And I remember he was like, "Don't tell your Aunt Shannon, his wife, he's like, but I have the book if you want to look at it next time you come over, And I was like, I have it, I got it,
Thank you, Bob.
Right, right. Thank you. I got it. But I remember, looking through the book and stuff, and just thinking there was so much strength and there it was so brave, and it was just fun, I mean, it was silly. Like if you look at it
Yeah.
now and you read a thing about Madonna looking in the mirror talking about her pussy, I mean, it's like,
Right. Right.
well,
Right. Right.
but it definitely helped kind of break these societal norms and made sex uh not such a taboo thing. Even though the book was so
Yeah.
taboo, it was
Yeah.
like, why is it this way? Why does it have to be
Right.
so taboo,
Right. And
we all
that's
know
her.
everybody has a ton of kids, so everybody
Right.
knows how to
Exactly.
do it, like
And that's her strength too, right?
hmm,
Starting conversations,
yeah,
introducing something that most people are too afraid to talk about. But then here's this big story on the news of
yeah,
these outrageous things Madonna did. And guess what happens? People go
yeah,
home, they talk about it, and sometimes they do it.
yeah,
And, and I remember when I was in like a grocery store one time when I was younger, and this is like at the height of her fame, and I remember seeing this like I want to say I was like 11 or something, and there was this like teenage boy who was probably like 16 or something, and he had these like ripped up jeans and like a crop top, and he had this Walkman, right?
that was
And he
me.
was Oh,
I'm
show
just
me.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
So, but he was singing like, "Oh, get erotic," and like he had this like really fuck you energy, and just like really believed in himself, and he was singing Madonna, and I was just like, I want to be her.
Yeah, yeah,
Like when I grow up, like I want to be that kid,
yeah,
like to feel free enough to dress exactly the way you want, and like again, you know, it is an example of her influence showing people that you are allowed to be authentic.
yeah. I think I was probably about 16, maybe no, maybe 14 when Erotica came out, and I remember I got a shirt. It was like, I think it was like Madonna's face, like with an open mouth, kind of sexy, and it said
Yeah, yeah.
erotica, erotica all over the shirt. And I remember begging my grandmother for these purple silver tab Levi jeans to match my erotica shirt, and I like lived in that look for a little bit at 14, my erotica shirt. But I it made me feel powerful, weirdly enough, and strong, but also um it was weird because as a queer kid, you're always kind of, especially when I grew up, I was always kind of battling people, just for being
Yeah.
myself, And
Right.
so by being able to wear this armor, this concert
Mhm.
t-shirt that says erotica all over it, and people are really like, really looking, not just because I'm gay, but like also, what
Yeah.
has he got on? What is he wearing? It brought this kind of like, power, empowerment over me, where I was like, yeah, that's right. What are you going to say about it? Here
Yeah.
I am, I
Yeah.
exist, and this is what I'm wearing. Yeah.
Right. And that's how self-expression should work, you know,
Yeah.
especially when you're going through adolescence, you know, you're learning who you are, you're expressing your feelings, and you are expressing yourself through how you dress. And you should do that, right? You should find
Yeah.
yourself, you should be brave. Um, and yeah, you know, that's why I love Madonna because like she made being brave cool in the 90s.
Yes.
And introduced us to like really great thought-provoking ideas and like really was a part of a lot of revolutions.
Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah, I don't think that she gets enough. I mean, she definitely had her glory. Like she's gotten a lot, through the years. But I do
Yeah.
feel like I think kind of when a lot of, younger pop stars come onto the scene, like, Lady Gaga, which is so funny because, for a lot of people, Lady Gaga is their Madonna. But also I remember when I first got Lady Gaga's album, her first album, I was like, she just ripped this shit off from Madonna. Like
I know.
there was so much in there that I was just like, oh wow, okay, I know exactly where you got this, where you're going from with the, and
Right.
stuff. And I'm not saying that I mean, she's obviously her own
Yeah.
entity, and she's a very talented and amazing person, but she very much obviously took her inspiration from Madonna in many, many
Yeah.
ways. And
And as a lifetime Madonna fan, your instinct, my instinct, is to defend Madonna for anyone who comes at Madonna. And so
right.
like we see someone who's ripping off and like us hardcore Madonna fans are like, that's my auntie.
Yes, yes,
Keep the
exactly.
fuck away from her.
Exactly. But I mean, she really paved the road. There's a female pop stars would not be where they are today without her. They just wouldn't, I mean, even concerts and stage performances wouldn't
Mhm.
be what they are without Madonna. She really made and set the precedence of what that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, there will never be another pop star, celebrity like Madonna. She's one
Yeah,
of a kind. It will never be duplicated. She was a trifecta of cultural relevance, cultural messaging, um, music that got in everybody's head, that was always at the top of the charts,
yeah,
um, um, outrageous dressing, creativity that was unparalleled, smart wit,
yes,
incredible confidence.
yeah,
there will just never be anyone like her. I remember, and this is how it quantified for me when I was younger. I went to a library one day and they had encyclopedias for each like 20 years or something. And they had like Lincoln and then Nixon and then Madonna. And then,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And I was just like, yes,
Yeah.
if we send a time capsule and we have to quickly explain our eras, that's appropriate.
Mhm. Mhm.
Madonna would be 80s, 90s,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because she was the trifecta. She was everything.
She lost
Um,
me. I would say I was such a huge fan for so many years. And then I met Tori Amos when I was a teenager, and Tori Amos became my new like
You're
obsession.
new
But
Madonna.
I
Tori's
really
awesome
loved
too.
I really loved Ray of Light and that like early 2000s era but
Yes.
but
Played
when
on
she
repeat in my head.
yeah when she hit her Bitch I'm Madonna era, um, I kind of just fell out on her because I kind of was like, I guess I felt like she didn't have to continue dressing like Forever 21 and running around making out with a 20-year-old in her video. And like,
Right.
I just kind of was like, you've got so much power. You have so much going for you. Why
Yeah.
are you like making me feel like you're desperate, Like, and that's where I kind of started losing my, connection with her. But I
Yeah.
always will respect her. And she really helped me a lot on my, being who I am and knowing my identity. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so yeah, so I guess back to the dolls I was making of
Yeah.
her. I made a ton of them and I kept getting really good prices on eBay for them. I was just like, well, I'll just keep doing this and keep falling in love with Madonna as I do this and like learn more about her as I'm making them, which was always totally fun, like
Yeah.
dissecting the videos and all
Right.
that. And then
You're
I
like, what's
had
that little accessory there? And what ring's she wearing? And
yes,
yeah,
yes. And
yeah.
like I would oh God, I did extensive research to get the details perfect. I'm very anal retentive about that. Like I want to get every detail perfect
And you
and the
do.
whole
It's
thing.
so amazing. It really is. I mean, that's
Thank you.
not only is your artistry on, the faces and the painting of the celebrity and stuff, but the detail that you put into their fashions and their accessories is mind-blowing, Cyrus. It's so
Thank you very
good.
much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that very much. It's very kind. I work hard at it. I'm also like my mind just works like a hamster on a hamster wheel, honestly, like where I
Uh-huh.
just fixate on something. And like that can be a detriment too, because like a lot
Yeah.
of times I'll take way too much time on something and then I'll even like make something that's really amazing and then like mess it up because like I feel like I have to do too much detail on it and then I'm like, "Ah, I want to go back in time and get version 3 of this." But yeah, so eventually, I had this guy message me about the Madonnas, and he was like, "I want to buy Madonnas outright from you." And at this point, I was only selling on eBay. That's all I did.
Right,
And I
right,
started the Flickr account, and like went on doll forums to advertise, saying like, "There's an auction. Hey, if you like Madonna, uh,
right.
there's an auction." And I was like, "I'm sorry, dude. Like, this is working really well for me." And so I'm not interested in selling outright. And he
Yeah.
says, and then he like quoted me a number, and he's like, "What if I gave you this
And
per
you're like,
doll?" And
hmm.
well, I got my mind. Well, I remember I turned him down a couple times because I was like,
Yeah.
no. But then he like sent me and I think he countered maybe a couple times, and then I was just like, oh, hmm. And so he sent me a number that was really I couldn't resist it, and he was like,
Yeah.
"I want a Madonna doll every week." And so I mean, if you ever wondered why there was a flood of Madonna dolls on my feed,
But I mean, that's one person who is literally funding your life. Like that's insanity, at least for that time period. Like that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And so he wanted one every week,
But
and he
that's a
wanted
lot
a
of work
picture.
for you. I mean, to spit one out every week. Like, yeah.
It was, and like sometimes it was too much because like looking back, like there are some of them that I'm like, oh, I wish I would have taken more time on that one. I definitely could have done that one better.
Yeah.
Um, but on the whole, it was, a great experience and a fun few years, just like making a lot of Madonna dolls.
Wow.
And then I had other people too um who wanted different celebrities, or they also wanted the Madonna doll. And so I would also work with those clients. But that was my transition from eBay into personal clients.
Right, right.
And then I was also like, oh man, fuck these eBay fees. Like, no, I'm not
It's
paying them
true.
10%, anymore. And then back then, if you did everything through PayPal, like your payments, like it was very cheap. Like their rates for accepting and sending money back then
Yeah.
were very low too. So I was like, okay, this is a win. Like,
Yeah.
let's keep doing this.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
That's so amazing. So, you started breaking into doing other celebrities.
Right.
And so where's that brought you?
So I mean, it's been a great experience. It's helped me to go further into pop culture. It's
Yeah.
given me a much greater love of horror movies and, going deeper into them. And each doll that I make, really, I do deep dives, right? I'll watch a documentary, I'll watch cast interviews, I'll watch the movie itself, sometimes a few times while I'm doing it. And so it's a really cool experience to really just focus, be in this one world of this part of pop culture.
Mm.
It's fun. So
So
fucking
do you,
fun.
I was doing a little bit of a deep dive on you yesterday. There's already a lot that I had seen, but there was a lot I hadn't seen. And one of the things that really, like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. It was a picture, it was like a split picture of Michelle Visage, RuPaul, and I think Bianca Del Rio.
Yeah.
And the Michelle Visage, Cyrus. I mean, they're all beautiful, but that Michelle, I was just like, oh, she is so gorgeous. Oh my
Thank
God, she's
you.
beautiful. And then I was like, where where does he find the sculpts? Like, are you searching out other celebrity sculpts that have similar faces that you're finding that you're using? Are you also sculpting yourself and adding things to things? Like, how does that all work for you?
Yeah. So in the beginning, it was a slow transition, right? Because my mom was a sculptor and she taught me sculpting when I was younger.
Yeah,
She taught me sculpting, watercolor, charcoal, lamp making, like creative lamps, like anything creative, she taught me.
yeah.
So that was something that was tucked away in my wheelhouse anyway. And so like at first I would just repaint, then I would add to a sculpt, right? Then as it progressed, I just sculpted it. And so that the Michelle Visage, I just sculpted it. I
It's
just
so
sculpted it.
beautiful, Cyrus.
Thank
It's
you.
so beautiful. I mean, like I said, everything you do is gorgeous, but there's certain things that hit or with people or
Mhm.
like and I love my Michelle Visage. And so I when I saw that the other day, I was just like, oh, holy shit. Like I would die to have that doll. Like she's so beautiful, you know?
Well, Michelle has that doll. So,
Yes. That's so
she
cool.
she's the one who owns it, and like big surprise, she's very nice. She's
Yeah.
so incredibly nice, so incredibly gracious, talkative, like
Yeah.
I went back and forth with her through Messenger. Um and just like incredibly nice and down to earth. She's tough on the show, but like she's just a really down to earth, sweet person.
Yeah.
And like so yeah, so Michelle has the doll.
Speaking
I
of Michelle having the doll, let's dive into that. Like, let's talk about your actual celebrity experiences.
Okay.
Oh,
What do you want
okay.
to know? So you want me to just like name off some stuff?
Yeah, why
So
don't you we need you to gloat a little bit. I
okay,
wanna hear about these experiences. I want to live vicariously through you.
I'm want to see if I can remember all of them. Okay, so Michelle Visage has her doll. She owns the doll. I'm going to give you a list of all the people that own their dolls that I
Yeah,
can talk about legally.
yeah, yeah.
Because there are some situations where I had to sign non-disclosure agreements,
Right.
and I can't talk about those, unfortunately. So Michelle
Now I want to know
Visage,
even more. No,
I
just kidding.
know, I want to tell you, trust me, I
I
do.
know, I know.
So Michelle owns her doll. Mariah Carey owns the doll I made of her.
Oh, that's so cool.
Andy Cohen owns the doll I made of him.
Yes.
Belinda Carlisle owns a doll I made of her.
Oh, wow.
Let's see, who else? Bianca Del Rio owns the doll I made of him.
That's so cool.
Trying to think. I
Andy
guess
should have his doll in his what do you call his little space that he does the interview?
his
There's a name
clubhouse.
for it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He should
Well,
have that doll there.
actually, interesting fact. He got the doll during COVID, and during COVID, he was filming Watch What Happens Live from, I guess, his beach house or something. The
Yeah.
doll is in the background
Oh, good, good,
during
good.
during the
Yeah.
COVID year. So if you look at like the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion for
Yeah.
like that year when like Denise Richards was on it, you can
Yeah.
see my doll in the background.
Oh, that's so cool. I've seen it and just didn't even realize because I've watched every single Beverly Housewives.
Right. Rewatch it. You'll see it. It's like on a little shelf in the background. And he was
That's
really
my
cool about
dirty
it
little
too.
secret. That's my trash TV. Yeah.
Oh girl. Let me tell you, I'm a big Housewives guy too. So
I still want Kim
preaching to the
Richards to
choir.
come back so bad. I
Oh
want
my God, me
I
too.
I want Kyle, Kim, and Kathy to all be
Mhm.
together on a full season, and I want all the
I
drama.
would love the entire cast of the first season of Beverly Hills to just completely like reunite like nothing ever happened. I would love
Yes.
to see that dynamic again.
Or even just all of them, like Carlton and like all these like
Right.
oddball
Oh
ones
my
that only
God,
made it a
Carlton.
little bit. Yeah.
So unhinged. That was one of my favorite seasons though. Like
Yeah.
that's some of the best TV.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so Andy, I'm trying to think who else, the entire cast of Search Party, the TV show, because I did the dolls for that TV show.
Wow.
So and then after I made the dolls for the Search Party TV show, which you can see them in Search Party season 3 and 4, I believe so. Three and
Yeah.
four. I might be wrong. Anyway, so after I did those, HBO had commissioned me to make, I want to say like 15 more dolls of different celebrities that they were going to send to them because they were
Wow,
huge
Cyrus.
fans of,
Oh, HBO just hit me up and they want me to make, like it's no big deal. Yeah.
I just got a call from HBO, my beeper.
Right, right.
But yeah, so they commissioned me to make like I want to say like 10, 12, 15 maybe dolls of different celebrities who were huge fans of Party and or were on Search Party as well.
Yeah.
And so I made Busy Phillips, I made Stephen King, I made Cole Escola, I made Sarah Bareilles. I made. I'm trying to think. There are a bunch of other ones, and then I had to remake like each of the cast members as well. And then they gave them in these like really cool gift boxes that were like had their own doll room in it. Right? Somebody made those amazing doll rooms, and
Wow.
they mailed them to each celebrity, and the celebrities would like post online, like, "Look what I got from Search Party." And I'm
Wow.
like, "Oh my God, that's so cool!"
That's amazing. I would
And it was cool
probably
because
cry
like
if I was like, even if I was a celebrity, if I like opened up something and it was like, something like that, I would probably cry because I'd just be like, oh my God, I have a Barbie of me. This is
well, that's
amazing.
because you and I have such a strong connection to Barbie. That is the ultimate, right? Like having your own Barbie, there's nothing better.
Right? exactly. As
But like,
long as
yeah,
it's not one of the fugly ones, that they
yeah.
kind of miss the mark on the celebrities, and I'm like, oh, I would sue, like,
I have questions about
yeah.
some of the recent celebrity Barbies. I've got yeah, but yeah, and so it was cool. Like, Sarah Bareilles posted this photo of her literally singing to her doll, and I was like, "Oh my
Oh,
gosh, she made up a song about the doll I made.
oh,
That's so
I
cool."
love Sarah. I love
Me
that.
too. Yeah, so that was cool.
So
I'm
cool.
trying to think, and there are other ones that I can't talk about,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, yeah. No, that's amazing. I love all of that. So I noticed too, that recently you've been doing more, I think it's your like action figure influence and whatnot, but I've noticed a lot of like males, like
Yeah,
that are kind of like dolls, but like action figure, like
they're essentially hot guys.
yeah.
Uh, they're guys that when I was single, I would have hit that.
Right, right.
Um, yeah, and so so for me, my inspiration making these guys was growing up. I always wondered about, I guess, what it would be like to have a successful life as a gay man.
Yeah,
And growing up in a Christian household, you're always told there's not an avenue for that. And, I was always sad because like even with dolls, um, I wanted to see that representation. Like that would have been so helpful to see representation of you can be gay and find the man of your dreams or the woman or whoever,
yeah,
and live happily ever after and be happy. And this is a viable outcome for your life. And
yeah,
like you always saw like Barbie and Ken, and then as I got older, I just thought to myself like I want to create that imagery,
yeah,
right? Where like Barbie was the ideal, right? But there can be another ideal for your life
yeah.
depending on who you authentically are.
That's why I started I was doing the First Love
Remember those?
dolls, because I was like, I want a gay fashion doll line, where they're the main stars and they're the ones that are, they're the Barbie basically. And
Yeah,
so I delved into that and did that for the same reason, just because I was like, this needs to exist. We had
yeah,
Billy, which was over sexualized, and more of a like Spencer's gift type thing,
yeah. Like
Uh,
kind of a gag doll
yeah,
almost.
yeah, yeah. And the same with the is it Bob in the coming out of the closet
Yeah,
or
coming
whatever
out
that
of the
came.
closet, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
basically
yeah.
just like, somebody's gay best friend,
Which
and
was
yeah.
fabulous idea, but he looks like
Yeah,
an
and
ugly
and
GI
both were really
Joe.
groundbreaking too for their time. But like, yeah, for me, like creating that imagery was important because and I've done a lot of thinking about this too, with being queer, right? And
Mhm.
growing up loving Barbie and why it resonates with so many gay men. And it's really occurred to me that when we're growing up and we have these feelings, these intuitions. We want to be pretty, right? We want to try on girls' clothes sometimes. We want to put on high heels or put a skirt on our head and pretend we have hair. I used to do that when I was a
Right.
little boy. And it's always frowned on. It's always corrected, right? You're always told, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And so who you are is constantly being crushed down, crushed down, crushed down. So what avenue do you have?
Yeah.
Fantasy. You
Yeah.
have Barbie, right? You can be her because you're just playing a different character, but it
Yeah.
gives a young queer person an outlet to express, I want to
Mhm.
be with a really cute guy. I
Mhm.
want to date Ken. I want to wear this fabulous outfit. I want to be feminine, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes like
I
I
also want to be a boss bitch and like be
right,
the CEO of this company, Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I want to be the person who walks into the room and everybody's looking at me because I'm so badass.
Right, right.
Um, all those messages. This is how a lot of queer people express it because they had no other avenues. And if you were lucky enough to have affirming parents, more power to you. But so many of us didn't, and
Yeah.
felt boxed in. And so I think that's one of the reasons why so many gay men like are adult Barbie collectors, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
their happy place,
Yeah.
right? It was where they could be their most authentic self. Um, so yeah. So I did a lot of thinking about that, and deep dives on Barbie and why it resonates.
I love that. I love that. Well, what does the future look like for like what are you kind of going into or wanting to do in the future?
So I want to keep doing my favorite stuff, right? I want to keep making the final girls. I want to keep making the unsung supporting actresses that every gay man loves, but you never see representation of,
Yeah.
right? Like the
Have you
Donna
done a Karen
Summers.
Black yet?
Not yet. I'm
You
sure
should
I will though.
you need to do Karen Black. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
There's so many I want to do. I want to do more Donna Summer because I did another Donna Summer before. I want to do more Donna Summer. I want to do um Joan Cusack from Adam's Family Values.
Yes.
I want to do Pat Benatar
Pastels.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these are the sassy ladies that like really resonate with.
Resonated. Yeah.
And I love doing those characters, the funny ones, the ones who are the supporting roles, the ones who don't get the
Attention
don't
they
get the
deserve.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the attention they deserve, who've done these incredible iconic roles. I want to
Yeah.
do more of them. I want to do more of like the hunks and stuff like that. I want to do more
Yeah.
gay icons. I want to,
Yeah.
you know, uh yeah, just keep going with what inspires me
I love that.
and yeah. But
So
yeah,
the
so I'm
oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, I was just
Oh
gonna
no,
say
it's just
the RuPaul ones that I've seen. Who else have you done? Because I just saw those three yesterday.
yeah, so I did Bianca and Rue and Michelle, and I have not done any more than though. Well, no, I did Divine
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Um, which is really cool because like I actually got a hold of a vinyl sculpt for that John Waters, I was told John Waters had commissioned, right? And he had only commissioned a certain amount of this vinyl sculpt for Divine's head.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who had a bunch of them, and I guess who was doing the casting for them. And he was like, I saw you made a Divine doll years ago, and I had made like a Pink Flamingos Divine doll that I made out of a
Hairspray doll. Yeah.
hairspray doll. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, "You did a really great job, but I've got this sculpt, and I was wondering if you could make this doll for me. Like I want a couple divines from her different, like Girl Trouble and like all those films. And
Yeah.
like honestly, what I was thinking at that because I had seen some of the original dolls that they had made, and it just becomes in like doll lore in your mind. Like they had a museum exhibit of some of the dolls that had that sculpt, and like in my mind when he asked me, I was just like, "What took you so long?"
Right, right. You finally come to mama. Like, yeah.
Because I was what like it would go through my mind like I wonder if I could ever get a hold of the sculpt. And so
Yeah.
yeah, so I made a couple designs, but I want to make more. I
Yeah.
want to make more drag queens. I want to
Yeah.
make Melissa Edwards, and I want to make Peppermint, and I want to make
Do you
oh,
know who
what am
I
I?
want to make? And
Katya.
I want to make so bad, and I've been thinking about it for a while, but I really like I don't have a passion to make drag queen dolls. I had been told for years and years, you should make a drag queen doll. You should, and I'm like, I know and I love it, but I just don't have the passion for it.
Yeah.
But I really would love to make a Jinx Monsoon doll.
Oh my
I
god.
I think that would be so fun.
Fun fact, I was just messaged by it was through her account, Trixie Mattel's
Yeah,
account. But I guess it was her manager or and they had messaged me through her account saying, "Okay, so Trixie's going to do a podcast with Jinx Monsoon, and we would like two of your dolls." and they were like, "Can we get a hold of like the Judy Garland when she was older and Dolly Parton?" And I said, "I'm sorry, like I don't have them anymore. I sold them. You
Yeah.
know, like I wish I could keep all my dolls, but like, yeah, 90%
Right.
of them I sell."
Yeah.
Um, and so like, yeah, so they had contacted me and asked if I could do that. And I was like, ugh. You know, I told them, I was like, look, if I had more time, I could make more. Like maybe we could do a future collaboration, blah blah
Right.
blah. But
But
yeah.
they wanted them
So
now. They're like,
yeah, because they were gonna film the interview,
yeah.
like I guess in a few days. So yeah, so they had meshed. But I want to make more drag icon dolls. I love Drag Race. There's so many stars. I love Jinx Monsoon.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And
yeah,
Alyssa
so
Edwards, oh my gosh.
Alyssa Edwards. I want to make
Yeah.
Alaska. I want to make Willem. I want to
Yeah.
make, there's so many icons that just like entertain me to no end and like deserve their due in
Or
like a major way.
Latrice
Oh,
Roya.
Latrice
Yeah.
Royale, yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Large and in charge.
Mhm. Yep.
I love that. That's so amazing. I think it's so important because this is part of our history, right? We're in the throes of history right now. Unfortunately, we're in this time that we're in right now, which is scary, but
Yep.
look at all of the beautiful things that have been happening in the world, regardless of that. Where, RuPaul has love her or hate her, has given this platform for all of these people to shine, and to actually become, who would have thought that drag queens would have been full celebrity status, would have been considered
Right.
celebrities, and
Yeah.
and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm so happy to be part of this time and this history and being able to, do the things that we do.
Yeah. I mean, pre-Drag Race, if you would have told me that something like that would have happened and gone mainstream like that, I wouldn't have believed you. Right.
Yeah.
And to me, it's another example of somebody who is just a powerhouse, right? Breaking down barriers, right? Putting yourself out there completely authentically, like RuPaul does, and just saying, I'm going to do me, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be funny as hell. I'm going to be entertaining as hell, and like it or hate it, and people responded to it, and
Yeah.
and the queer community was hungering for it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Representation that is creative and fun and funny and fuck you,
Yeah.
right? That just really says be yourself,
Yeah.
right? Be authentic,
And she's so
and
smart because she's also keeping that nostalgia of the shows, the variety shows that we maybe saw the tail end of as a child, like, but loved, and so she like brings that. It's so many things. It's Project Runway. It's,
Mhm.
it's all these things kind of combined, and it's drag queens, and it's
Yeah,
fantastic,
yeah,
and I love
yeah.
everything. I love the creativity. I love the drama. I love, it's
Mhm.
all just so good. Yeah.
I mean, it's a feast for the senses when you see a episode of Drag Race, right? It is color and creativity and drama and people's backstories and humor, and like it's just like nobody had seen anything like that before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it was queer, right? And it affirms how much the queer community has to offer, you
Right.
know. And the fact that it became mainstream, I think, bravo, because like it was overdue. And
Way
so
over.
and
Yeah.
for so long, so many queer people were in the shadows, right? We were the
Mhm.
sidekick. We were the funny one liner on the side, right? The best friend. And so like I always respond positively to mainstream
Yeah.
representation of queer life and showing that queer people are fully formed. We have
Yeah.
a 360 life. We fall in love, we have our hearts broken, we're intelligent, we're we're fashion designers, we're also scientists, we're also, all sorts of things. We're not just this hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think because of misogynistic ideology, drag queens before they were given the platform that they were always kind of the lowest of the low, trans drag queens, like the ones that got the most abuse that, were really pushed down. And I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like,
I mean, just look at how RuPaul was treated by Milton Berle, right? When she did that VH1 when she was I forget the award ceremony, but like
yeah,
he was really like zinging it to her, and she took it like a champ and like gave it right
yeah,
back to her.
yeah.
But like, yeah, that's how what people wanted and want,
Mhm.
especially in this day and age, to do to people who are non-conforming, right, to
Mhm.
traditional representation
Yeah.
of sexuality, of dress, of gender expression. They want to make them a joke, make fun of them,
Hmm.
and and so yeah, that's a huge problem, and yeah, especially nowadays, it's coming back around, and it's difficult, and I think it's been difficult for every queer person, really, just about, you know, dealing with and emotionally processing,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
last couple of years,
Yeah.
because
We
I
don't
was
want to
talking about
slide backwards. I mean, it's
we
terrifying.
don't.
Yeah.
It's terrifying, it's depressing, it's
Mhm.
indescribable in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, and it's how I described it to one of my friends was that you grow up being queer through trauma,
Hmm.
right? Through multiple traumas, being traumatized.
Hmm.
And in the last 10, 20 years, we've finally found this safe space, right? Where
I
we're
could
like,
breathe. I could
right, where you,
literally breathe. I
right,
my whole world was changed because I felt like, oh, the society has my back enough now
right,
that if
right,
anyone was to mess with me, people would come in and be like, no,
right.
that's not going to happen, you know?
We're on the right side of history now. Like we're finally
Right.
accepting. We finally have marriage equality. You finally have RuPaul's Drag Race. We finally have TV shows coming out left and right with queer representation. That's how it was.
Right.
But then this started happening, and so we were feeling safe. We were traumatized throughout our life, a lot of us, and then we were feeling safe for a while. And what's happening now is it's so much worse than just the original trauma. We're
Yeah.
literally being re-traumatized,
Yeah.
right? So it's not it's not even like this is just some fresh new thing, right?
Yeah.
It's an old enemy that has
Yeah.
come back from the grave. And so that's why it's so difficult. It's heartbreaking, for so many queer and trans people, especially trans people,
And I
living in
think
this day and age.
it's so important for us as queer, men. I think it's so important for us to also um, stand with our, community. The trans people are being demonized, and that's something we can't stand for. That's something that we have to stand with and make sure that this doesn't happen. There's so many
Yeah.
people that are in the queer community that want to separate themselves from that because it's not their everyday life, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gay, but I'm, not that, and I,
Yeah.
and
Trying to leave out the T of the LG. Yeah, I've seen
exactly,
that too.
exactly, and we can't do that, and we can't allow that to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's when I see stuff like that, it's sad to me, right? Because, we had to show so much bravery and stand up for ourselves through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, right?
Hmm.
Where is that bravery for people who are being treated similarly to how we were being treated in those times, right?
Exactly.
Worse,
Exactly.
honestly,
Worse.
but
Yeah.
similarly to
Yeah.
how we were being treated. Like, do you not remember the suffering, the trauma
Yeah.
that we did? Be an empathetic human being.
Yeah.
Like, understand this is the same story. This
Yeah.
is the same story, gay or trans. It
Yeah.
is the same story, and it's wrong no matter what, no matter
And there's
who you
things
are.
that I love that actually weirdly enough, like watching back things, we watched Steel Magnolias last night because my partner Dylan hadn't seen it, and I was like, "Oh my God,
What?
you, yeah, like you have to, we have to watch Steel
Give me a
Magnolias."
second.
Yeah, yeah. And so so we're watching Steel Magnolias, and there's a funny scene in it. And they're talking about queer guys, and they're saying how, every man, gay man has track lighting or is named Mark, Rick, or Steve,
Rick or
and,
Steve,
and
yeah.
there's joking in there. But when she's describing that this other family that they all know or whatever, the boy came out and they're like, oh, how did the family handle that? And like,
Mhm.
and then she's talking about she's kind of like grouping it in with, oh, well, the daughter, married out of wedlock and the, whatever, and is grouping it
Right.
into these like bad, things.
Degenerate,
Yes, yes,
degenerate
yes.
happenstances.
And so,
Yeah.
and then I'm thinking, here's this movie that, so many queer people, gay people, really like loved. It's become a cult classic, myself included, but actually had some very negative, I mean, it's supposed to be funny and it was the time,
Yeah.
but like it really shows you that wasn't that long ago. And that was a social thinking and norm of like how they thought of these people, how lowly they thought of these
Mhm.
people.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's how it works, like we edge ourselves to a place of dignity. We edge
Yeah.
ourselves to a place of understanding. We edge ourselves into the sphere of being a human being, right? Right.
Mhm.
Uh, in the minds of straight culture a lot of the time, and it takes time, and it took a long time for us to get where we were as gay men,
Yeah.
um, and lesbians and trans people. But yeah, back then that was considered being generous,
Yeah.
right? To us, and then like you look at stuff like Designing Women and Golden Girls,
Yeah.
and like they were really some of the first couple shows that were queer affirming,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
like really showed that representation as well, and weren't afraid to talk about it, and weren't afraid to tell off the bitch who was judging the gay person,
Right.
which I loved. But yeah, it takes a long time for culture to evolve, for us to find a place of acceptance. It's like a million tiny steps that
Right.
gets us there. And I think that's one of the reasons why it is so heartbreaking now, is we're being sent back,
Yeah.
right?
And
We're
being able to be there to kind of like watch it all happen personally, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, not that Roseanne is the best person,
yeah,
but
yeah,
as a kid growing up and watching Roseanne and loving that show and stuff, and Jackie, her sister, comes out of the closet as a lesbian, and she's a cop and all these things. That was huge for me. That was huge for me
yes,
watching that.
yes,
It's just like, wow, like and it was so beautiful and affirming, but we got little tiny pieces of that,
yeah,
and I feel like it's so much better. Well, it had gotten so much better, and we just can't
yeah.
let it recede. We just can't. We got to do everything to make it
This,
not
yeah,
happen.
this is why you vote, right? You
Mm,
make sure you get your ass out to those polls.
yeah, yeah,
I don't care if you got to take the day off of work. You vote,
yeah,
and you make sure that you have your voice heard, number one, and yeah, and you speak up, use your voice.
yeah, yeah,
Say what is right. Don't be afraid to be brave.
yeah.
The people who did it before us had to be real brave. They
Real
had
brave.
to be beaten by cops,
Yeah,
at Stonewall brave. And so, like, if they can do that, we can get our ass out to the poll. We can make a post on social media.
yeah,
That's how we're going to get through this.
yeah,
But another thing that resonates with me too is that progress doesn't, and somebody had said this, but progress doesn't move in a straight line,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
and we can take real big strides forward, like the queer community did, like in the 90s and 2000s,
Hmm.
and then be taken back.
Hmm.
But be rest assured, the pattern is always going up.
Yes, I love
So
that
just
message. That's so beautiful, and it's
and it mean
important to remember.
and it's been like that throughout history.
Yeah,
If you really just, even if you want to look at it scientifically, if you look throughout history, we've had some real bad setbacks,
yeah,
sometimes for years, sometimes for decades, sometimes for longer.
yeah,
But society always evolves,
yeah.
right? Human consciousness always evolves. It's in our nature,
Hmm.
to get there. So if if people are feeling down and depressed, like I do almost on a daily basis,
Hmm.
about this crazy shit that's happening,
Hmm.
just try and keep that in your mind that,
Yeah,
like, statistically we move along,
yeah,
right? We move in an upwards trajectory.
yeah.
um
And
so-
always remember that 12-year-old little gay boy listening to Like a Prayer, and
right,
keep
he didn't
that
give a fuck.
spirit of we've got this, we've got this.
Yeah, bravery
Yeah,
and belief in yourself,
yeah, I
those are
agree.
cool
Well,
things to have.
yeah, very cool things to have. Well, thank you so much. It was so awesome getting to like know more about you, Cyrus, and to like kind of like see into your world a little bit and talk about what you do. I
No,
really appreciate you for what you do, and even more talking to you and how passionate you are about our LGBTQ plus community. Um,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I believe in us.
I do
And we're gonna
too.
be okay. We're gonna
Yeah.
make it. And thank you for having me on. Like, I really appreciate it. It's very generous of you to ask me on here and talk about it. And I love your work, and I've admired you for forever. For the
Well,
last
thank
15 years that
you.
I've seen your work and admired it on Flickr and other social media. But yeah, thank you. I'm very appreciative that you asked me to talk to you, and I had a really good time. And
Well, we got
yeah.
to stick together. I mean, we have we're even though we're expressing through art, but it's also a battle. It's also a fight. I mean, we're by being able to put the stuff out there that we're doing and express, we're only helping things. So,
Yeah, and that's true. We do need, as a community, we're stronger together. We're stronger, sticking up for each other and having each
yeah,
other's backs and supporting each other. So yeah, so I appreciate that from you and anyone who is queer or an ally who
yeah,
follows my work.
yeah,
Like, that is um not something that I will forget.
yeah. Well, thank you again so much, and I'm excited about this episode. I'm excited to like fill it up
Me
with
too.
tons of cool pictures of you